the exciting part. We did it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Live Reality Games Recap Podcast. I'm Naomi. Welcome to the Scotty Survivor Steel City Recap. We are having an awesome interview today. But first, let me introduce my co-host, Lee. Lee, how is it? How are you? What's going on?
All's going well. We had a very interesting episode.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
With a very interesting result.
Games are actually
Mm-hmm. An episode we saw coming as there was, Shane, a wheel in the opening montage. Shane, how are you?
I'm doing good. Nobody talked about it, so sorry.
Only the people who watch Survivor too much noticed it. So
well, also,
that's
I don't know, like the wheel could have been at any point during the season. The wheel could have been for an immunity thing. Like there are reasons that the wheel could be there. So.
But speaking of wheels, Anthony, the victim of the wheel, welcome to the program. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on the wheel. The wheel got me.
I know. It's so
No
fucked
fortune
up.
was on that wheel.
This tribal, I will always stand by. Like it's my biggest disappointment because it was supposed to be in person. So like, I'm just so disappointed, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's such a bummer. And you know, we went back to a really fun challenge, but like there is something that was so exciting about the last episode in person. Anthony, what was that challenge in person like for you? Because obviously you won, which was very fun to watch. But I feel like playing a whole season sort of online and then getting to see each other in person all together. How was that for you?
That was so fun and so interesting to see what everyone looked like. Like I didn't realize Hallie would be like so tall and thin. And I didn't realize Eric was so short maybe, or some people I didn't see in person. And it was so fun because I'm super competitive and I like physical challenges and mental challenges. And, you know, it was great to do something more physical and something outdoors.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of mental challenges, what a doozy this one was. And it's funny because I guess my brain wasn't working. When Govan kept saying, I'm going to add more colors, I was like, but there's only 6 colors on the Rubik's Cube. How do you add more colors? Like I didn't realize what he was actually saying. But this was fun. Anthony, are you are you a big Survivor fan? What got you into playing Scotty Survivor, first of all? Sorry, I know, but
definitely not a big fan. I actually didn't know what happens when there's a tie vote before we went into the vote for our week. So I was like, oh, it's a wheel. That's freaking cool. Like, let's do that. Not a fan. I had seen it growing up as a kid. Like I watched with my parents, but hadn't really seen any episodes. I watched like one Survivor Michigan episode just because Shane said you should have some idea of what's going on. So yeah, that was the extent of my knowledge.
And what brought you to Scotty Survivor?
Where did I see it? I saw it. I was looking up on Google like before. So I just arrived in Pittsburgh and I was going to start in the fall. Like I arrived in the summer in Pittsburgh and was going to start at school in the fall. And I looked up, can graduate students be part of like activities or student organizations? And a Reddit post appeared and it was like, yeah, do whatever you want. And another Reddit post was like, Scotty Survivor, apply to be on this show. And I was like, that sounds really fun. So I gave it a go.
And you got on.
Right.
And they chose me.
They said, we want this PhD guy.
We need at least one older person.
I mean,
I had no idea I would be the only old man.
You're not that old, aren't you? Like 26?
I'm 25. Don't age me, Lee.
Lee's
not that old. I don't know people's ages. I still don't know my family's age.
Lee's like 6 hours ahead, so age doesn't matter to him at all. Shane, what did you're casting Anthony? What were you so excited about having Anthony on the season?
It was a no-brainer. He got a perfect score in the interview. Like it was basically like this guy came on with so much energy. We were like, we can't not cast him. Like, and I think he did his interview like while cooking or something too. Like,
yeah,
it was like.
I remember that where it's like living the college life, making.
That was like his intro video. He did his interview doing like the same exact thing. And we're like, this guy's character, like he's just like we were like, we don't know how much he's gonna know about the show, but like I feel like it would just be so interesting. And it was, so we made the right call. Also, we needed like grad school representation too, so like yeah, that was a no-brainer.
And Anthony, what did you like about not playing, like you never not knowing a lot about Survivor? What did you enjoy out of this experience? What was like the fun parts of Survivor for you?
Yeah, the fun parts were the challenges and like talking with people about what was going on in the game and hearing like their strategies or perspectives. I wasn't too into being cutthroat, or like I didn't like the parts that, you know, people were like, let's vote them off, we don't like them. It kind of made me feel like I can't do this to an 18-year-old. Like, I'm going to scar this kid for life. Like, I might be teaching this kid next year. Like, I can't. So I was like, I got to be careful. But like, it was fun. It was fun. Yeah. Meeting everyone and talking about their lives.
And so who were you the most surprised that you got along with? Like, you know, I know the feeling of like, you walk into a group and you're like, oh, there's a bunch of like 19-year-olds. This feels odd. I'm old. Like, what were the people you were surprised you got so close to and became friends with?
Probably most of the people. Eric, for one, I didn't realize like I'm pretty similar to Eric. And like, I didn't think I'd be such good friends with a freshman, or like we've hung out after the game, which just feels kind of cool or different than the normal people I hang out with. Zoe Marshall, like her doing her singing intro video. And I never really spoke to her during the game until like one of the last challenges. But then like after, you know, she got booted off, like we had set up a coffee or something for the next day. And I was like, do we still go to coffee because you're like not on the show anymore? But we did, and it was great. So those two, and yeah, the others as well.
So you're also a person who's turning salt into butter at all times, like Eric, or
just churning it up or whatever you do to make that happen.
Oh man. So Lee, do you have any questions about the actual Survivor game that happened? What should we ask Anthony?
So many.
Oh no. This is opening a can of worms here.
No, I'm horrible with on-the-spot questions.
I know, but I always talk too much, so I want you to talk instead.
One big thing I can think of was game-wise. It was a couple of episodes ago when Olivia told you about the idol. Oh, actually, before I actually mentioned that, wasn't it? I just remembered something.
Yes.
You originally found the idol by following a producer?
No, my God.
I low-key saw Shane, like, go check if the idol was still there. So, like, I kind of knew where it was. So, but I felt like I couldn't use that to my advantage because that's, like, cheating. I was like, I'm not going to go and find it because that's bogus.
If you see it, like, you see it, like.
That's so stupid. So I was like, Olivia, go get it.
But you didn't think that she actually did until she told you.
No, then I forgot about it. Yeah, I was like, yeah, whatever. No one will find this.
Oh thing. Yeah, idols, like that thing that you win around immunities. Like, no, the other kind, the more important one.
I didn't realize if anyone would find them or how quickly they would be found, or like, yeah, I had no idea if they were in play like most of the game.
I lied my ass off to Anthony when he saw me, like, yeah. I like made up some excuse for why I was like going down the long-winded path.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
He had some shifty eyes. Or shady eyes. What was it?
Shifty eyes.
Yeah.
My meetings with those freshmen were a lot. Being lied to for like 30 minutes straight with someone is just like not fun for me.
No.
But then I love them. Like talking to them afterwards or outside of those, it was like, you're a great person, but like just be honest with me, like, because I don't want to waste my time talking bullshit with you.
And Anthony, like, I think from our perspective, Olivia was like your closest ally, and then obviously Jorts for Leo. We have this whole group going on. Was Olivia like the number one person for you? Was it somebody else?
Yeah, me, Olivia, and Leo. Like, it's not shown even as much as I think we talked. Like, we were texting like every day about, I don't know, whatever was going on in the game. So I think us three were tight. We were in control.
Y'all didn't record, so I couldn't put it in there.
Yeah, I didn't record that many things. Sorry, Shane.
Oh no. There it goes.
And now you don't have to record anymore.
Congrats on being voted out. You don't have to do anything for this game anymore except show up.
He wasn't voted off, he was wheeled off.
Okay.
I was wheeled off. I was never voted off. That makes
you were voted off by the internet.
Yeah. I feel like rock draws are bad for people beginning with A. You have Anthony, Angie, Andrew.
Yeah.
Sorry for spoiling past Survivors.
Yeah, this is a brutal season of College Survivor.
We're gonna this should have been in person. Like, it just should have been in person. Goddamn COVID cases.
Curse you, COVID.
Let's talk about this breakdown, right? Anthony, in this moment, what was going on with your group of people? Because it's you, Leo, Olivia, and then Sarah and Audrey, right? That's the five?
Corey.
Oh, Corey. Sorry. Hang on. Sorry.
It's a big question mark.
Please pardon me. So what was going on with this group when you get confronted by Sarah and Corey and they're like, "We're coming over"? What is going on in your head? Are you like, why the fuck are we talking to these guys? What was going on for you?
Yeah, exactly. So they called me and they were like, "Dorothy's trying to get together all these people to vote you or Leo off or something," and I was like. It was the morning before the tribal, and I was like, "Don't call me with these crazy, whatever assumptions or crazy conspiracies that you think are going on." I was like, "We got it in the bag." I was like, "Ogun's sticking together this round." Clearly, we were not, and I think it took like Olivia talking to me to convince me that Sarah was being honest and actually switching to our side. And then I talked to Dorothy as well. So I think a lot of my conversations weren't actually shown. So I find that interesting. Like, I had been talking to like Dorothy, Audrey, Eric. Like, I had conversations with a lot of these people. And Dorothy just lied to me too for like 30 minutes straight. And I just kept asking her, like, "Dorothy, I've heard from Sarah and Olivia that you're switching and getting a group of people. Like, why aren't I part of that? Why aren't you trying to get me to work with you?" And she was like, "That's not even happening." She's like, No, we're just all voting Ogun, right?" And I was like, "What the hell, Dorothy? Just tell me the truth. Like, I know you're conspiring to do this crazy flip thing this round," which I think is awesome because the game was so friggin' boring up until then. It was like, okay, let's all vote this one person and then they're out. So I was like, "Dorothy, good on you. Get it going."
But clue you in.
And then I got out.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you can definitely understand why she didn't tell you, because you definitely would have told Leo that, yeah, they're writing down your name.
Yeah, you're right.
Was there ever a part of you, Anthony? I know that this is like, was there ever a part of you that thought about voting for Leo?
Yes.
Other than to win.
When they explained that if no one flips, it goes to the wheel, I was like, this could be a good move to flip and be on like May's side, because I was kind of friends with May and Corey. Like, we had hung out a bunch. So I was like, I guess I could flip and that would be like good for me. But to be honest, I was so freaking done with the game. Like, I was just sick of playing. So I was like,
really?
Get me out.
Well, this is also
nice.
It got so messy at this point. You want the game to shake up, and then it shakes up way too much. Like, it goes off the rails. Shane, what are we not talking about here in this moment that we should be talking about with Anthony?
I think mostly, like, it was just how much Sarah was like really trying to convince him, and he just was not having it. Like, he was so convinced, and I was like, Anthony, she's like actually trying to get you to do something good for you, you idiot. Like, I don't know, but you did eventually make a confessional about like, oh wow, like Sarah is playing well. And then of course it happens. So it just was that was the funniest thing. Like watching that call, like where she was trying to. Him and Leo were the two worst ones to convince. Olivia, she heard it. She was like, "Yep, I believe it right away." Like
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
It ain't truth unless it comes from Olivia's mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I almost voted for Sarah. It was almost a 5-6-1 or whatever.
I kind of wish you did.
5-4-1. I was
my
almost just like, fuck this. I don't.
Why
I
Sarah?
can't play with her. I just couldn't handle it. I was like, stop calling me and like convincing me to do
I'm just
things.
gonna vote you off because you keep calling me.
I want one text. Tell me who to vote for. I will do that, and we'll be done. This is business.
Wait, the funniest thing about this vote was like something that was off camera. I had like a home gym at the time, and both Corey and Leo were at my house the day of the vote. And like we're like working out, and they just start bickering like about the game, like about like what was gonna happen. Like they both were like insistent like that the other was wrong. Like Corey was like, "You're gonna get voted out if you don't do this," and Leo was like, "I'm not getting voted out. Like it's not happening." And like I remember just like turning to one of my other housemates, like walking upstairs, and I'm like, "This is the funniest thing that I've ever happened." Like because Leo was just so convinced that he wasn't going out. Like
I mean, he was right in the end.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like if he had just stuck with his original plan, he would have been toast.
What was the original plan? Just vote for.
It was either. I think he would have just voted for May, but the problem was that, or like they were gonna have like a split.
Split the votes between May and Eric.
Well, yeah, or like the problem was like they needed Sarah and Corey.
Mm-hmm.
That happened. So. But.
Well. And I'm wondering, Shane, like where you think why do Dorothy and Audrey kind of flip away? What is this moment? Is there something that like Anthony, Olivia, Leo could have done? What's going on here that like could this have been prevented, or was it always like they're done? Or Hallie as well. Like what's going on here?
They were always gonna flip, but what I tried to highlight in the episode was that Sarah's doing this made it so that the flip happened. Like this was genius on Sarah's part because they weren't even going to do it, but she literally made it happen by going and telling Leo, and then Leo's like, well, I'm not going to have them vote off Sarah if she's telling the truth. So once they realize that he's not voting off Sarah, they're like, okay, now we have to vote him. Like, so she sped it up by getting him on her side, which they didn't like because they wanted to vote Sarah. So like at least Audrey wanted to vote Sarah. So like this move was like Sarah just sped the game up like an entire week by getting exactly what she wanted.
Wow, I didn't think that's what happened. I have
From
no
your
idea.
view, what did you think would happen? What do you think why?
What did I think went down?
Yeah,
Yeah, you said you didn't think that's why they flipped. Why did you think they flipped?
Yeah, I didn't think like Sarah really convinced them. I could feel Dorothy and Audrey and Hallie were like, I hate the term, we're on the bottom of the tribe. And it's bullshit because like, who knows at the end if it was down to us 6 on original Ogun, like if I would have stuck with Olivia and Leo or went with them or whatever, like who knows? I think they just thought they were on the bottom, and Dorothy's smart. She knows that you have to do something big if you're going to be the winner in the end because the people are voting for you or whatever. So I thought Dorothy was like, this is my chance to make my big move. So I'm going to do this and get Leo out because that'll be epic.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Sarah didn't convince them to do it, but it was her behavior of like basically ratting them out, and then kind of like causing the fracture between them, like so behind the scenes. It was just so like, it was so calculated, and every single decision was like so thought through. Like I was watching, like I basically was on call with whatever Sarah was doing the entire day because I was so invested in seeing what she was thinking. Like it was so interesting to watch. I've never seen anything like that.
Well, and I wanted to ask Anthony, were you surprised by Sarah in this episode? I don't know how on your radar Sarah was just in general, but like she has an idol out of nowhere. She's really kind of doing a good job at convincing Olivia, and we know about the Olivia Sarah relationship to an extent. Was she on your radar before like this moment in time?
No, not really. I don't think I had only spoken to her once, and I had heard from other people that she was like playing pretty hard, or was like a big fan and definitely like trying. But I had no idea she was going to be a big part of making this happen. Or I didn't know she had any idols. I thought maybe if someone had an idol, they would play it on like if she played it on May or if she played it on Leo, then like we wouldn't even go to this whole thing. And maybe she'd have one of their trusts because like she gave them the idol, which saved their ass. And she wouldn't even have to tell any of us. Like we could have done the plan Leo May, and she could have behind the scenes not told anyone and picked someone to do that for. Mm-hmm. That's like how I think that's more straightforward for me, like in how you use the idol. But it seems like she was even more devious. Like she's like 3 steps ahead of me. I'm like trying to play the basic game over here.
She kept both of her allies that way. That was smart.
So good.
It's crazy. I'm watching this go down, and then I'm like, oh, she's gonna play an idol on May, and then I'm like, wait, but that was in Leo. I'm just watching this go down. I'm like, wait, what the fuck is Sarah doing right now? And then it all worked out. It was genius. I was like, holy shit, she's that good. But Anthony, I think you kind of point out that like Sarah's playing very hard, and I would not be surprised if she becomes a target much later on. Obviously, she has this second idol, but well, and speaking of idols, Anthony, how about Corey and his idol? Did you see that coming at all? Like,
no, I had no idea anyone even had idols. Except Olivia.
Yeah. It's a very dramatic season.
So dramatic, and I'm curious what they are going to do with their idols or how that pans out. I mean, of course I know now, but
right. But in this essence of living the fantasy, you're very curious about what they're going to do.
Well, there's only like 6 or 7 more people get voted off, and there's like 4 idols hanging out there, and someone has 2 of them. It's like if you have 2 and there's only like 6 more votes. Like
she has 1.
Well, she has 1 now since she used.
Oh, now she has 1. It goes back though. Can you like? Do they re-look for it? Is that what happened?
Not that one.
Oh, okay.
No, it'll be the one that Corey found that would go back into play, right?
Only the first one would go back in, but we're not going to talk about that. So
got it.
Well, Leo's the only one in the 4 that doesn't have an idol. Because Corey has one, Olivia has one, Sarah has one. And then you have Leo trying to be the winner of the worst season. The Boston Rob strategy is so stupid.
We'll talk about that. Not Scotty Survivor. Redemption Island is so bad.
Well, it's something else I'm curious about for you is like, in the early game, was there anybody that you regretted voting off, or did you feel good? Because I do think that to an extent, even though you came second in this challenge, right, and you won the last one, you were never really the target of like challenge beast. Nobody was ever going to really vote you out for being like a threat like Sarah or Leo. You were in a very great spot. You had a lot of allies around you. In the early game, is there anybody that you wish you hadn't voted off, or did you feel pretty confident about all the choices that had sort of happened with you as a part of them up until this moment?
Yeah, I felt good. Gerald was easy. Elle, actually looking back on it, I like Elle and we're friends now. And like, she voted for me because I like messaged her, like, we're buddies. Like, I won't be hurt if you vote for me. So vote for me. So I feel bad. Like maybe I could have kept her around as an ally and we could have like done something more fancy, more secretive.
I feel like a lot of people wanted to keep Elle, but everyone was saying the too early talk. Where it's like, it's too early to be shaking the probe. Elle sacrificing herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. Then who else even got voted off? Did I vote
Michael was your next vote?
Needed Michael off. Couldn't stand the kid on the show.
And then
you made him cry.
Watching his confessionals, He is so funny. Like, I wish I got that side of him when I was interacting. Like, maybe if I was on his tribe, I would have really liked him. But, like, just the one conversation we had was all bullshit. So I was like, fuck this.
And then
it was
Cushy
always
was
going to
left.
be. I mean, I know Eric plays the obviously plays the idol. Like, was it always going to be Michael over Eric? Like, was there ever a question of like, should we vote out Eric instead?
I wanted Eric out
Mm-hmm.
because I saw him as more of a threat. But I had no idea how many people Michael was in with and stuff like that. I figured it was one big group and they had things going on, but I didn't know like the details.
Mm-hmm. Well, I also think Eric probably better at immunity challenges than Michael in the long term, and you guys were getting pretty close to that. I mean, Eric wins the plate one, right? Like, there's something to be said about that. Especially had you guys gone to tribal council again, just as a group, that would have been fucked up. And so we merged, and you won this immunity. Like, I'm just wondering if, Anthony, you felt like you were in a good spot going forward. What would you try to do? What were the plans if you weren't taken out of this moment? Was it going to be Leo and Olivia to the end? Were you going to betray someone? What was going to go on?
I think I realized you had to make a move. Like, I started understanding how to play the game, and I thought I was in a good spot because I was just like playing dumb. No one thought I like knew what was going on in the game, even though like I kind of knew. And like low key, I was trying to chat with everyone. So I like had some relationships all over. So I thought like, I'm doing okay here. Like, we're in it. I'm not like doing it. I haven't found an idol and I'm not doing anything that strategic yet. But I figured if I stay on in the next week or two, I need to do some crazy vote or I need to shake something up. If that's trying to get Leo voted out, that's trying to get Leo voted out. I feel like I would have stuck with Olivia. Until maybe the end when I was like, oh shit, if Olivia's with me in the final three, she's definitely gonna crush me. So like I need to get her out. So I wonder how it would have changed had I been in like the final 5 or final 4.
For sure.
I think you're probably like the only person who realized that like at this point in the game.
It's
Who
always
realized
when
that Olivia was good.
Yeah.
Olivia good?
That she's a social mastermind. She's just so nice and like she listens and she like I caught her a couple times like flattering me or like being nice in like a way that like I knew it was like a lie or like false, you know. I was like, don't like or she was playing dumb. I caught her playing dumb a couple times where she was like, what? You think that? And I was like, yes, Olivia, don't bullshit me. Like of course.
Oh no. Shane, anything else we need to talk about with Anthony before we get to our wrap-up questions? Because it's been so much fun, but I didn't know if I missed anything that we definitely need to talk about.
I don't think so. I think that's it. Yeah.
Well, so Anthony, I think we're all just wondering, at this point in time, ignoring everything that will happen in the rest of the game, who were you wanting to win the most out of everybody left? Is it Olivia? Is it somebody else? You know, surprise us.
It's Olivia. My ride or die.
Yeah.
Day one.
Yeah. And she has an idol. You know,
she has an idol. She's playing a nice game. Like, she's not playing too hard from what anyone can see other than, like, you know, she's recording everything so she gets some good screen time. And she's definitely talking to everyone. But she's being nice about it, and she's playing dumb, which I like. So I was definitely hoping she would win.
I think we're all hoping that.
Yeah. So Shane messaged our group chat and said, like, this one's going to be a heartbreaker. And in my head, I was just like, it's going to be Olivia, and I'm going to stop watching this season. Like, it's going to – and Anthony, it was upsetting to watch you go, but I really was preparing myself for, like, Olivia's gone, and like it's just gonna be pain. Like here we go. So I think we're all also rooting for Olivia to an extent.
As you should be. She was crying when I got voted out. If you look at her little Zoom thing, she's literally shedding tears.
It'll be in the episode.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, they all cry because Anthony left.
There's a lot of crying in College Survivor lately. Michigan too. Everybody's crying over everybody. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think
Shane,
I've ever
why do you
cried over
hate your
somebody else.
cast to make them all cry?
It's not my fault. They're the ones who do this shit. Like, I didn't tell them to go to Rocks.
Oh man.
Hey, it didn't make me cry though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were there cheering in the core, like, yes, I can stop doing all this.
Please, it's exhausting.
Yeah. You and Zoe just chilling there in the jury chat, ruling over it.
We are such a great jury squad. Like in the episodes going forth, we might only have like a second where they're like we walk in, but we make some fun shit happen.
You're, like if you're on the Zoom, you're giving faces in the Zoom boxes. Like
the rest of tribals minus final are in person. So
yeah.
Oh boy, I cannot wait. And then Shane's just gonna be like, why are you, Shane? You're grilling in Survivor because Shane's like, oh, I grill. I love it. I can't wait for you to just like take somebody by the collar and be like, are you gonna flip? So I'm looking forward to that.
Are you going to do something in the game?
Oh man. Well, Anthony, just a final question. Let's say Olivia's not in the finals, right? Yeah. What are you prioritizing in a winner? Are they strategic? Are they social? Are they friendly? What do you like about somebody who might win this game?
Yep. Someone
all the above.
Smart. All of the above. You have to be decent at challenges.
Okay.
Sorry,
you
Olivia.
have to. When she got out on that first or second color, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. I was like, is anyone trying? Like, it's not that hard, people. You memorize people's phone numbers all the time.
No, they don't. They just put it in their phones. Like, I don't know anyone's number. I just click their name.
That's showing my age. I still know people's numbers. It's good at challenges. But, like, one thing that would be hard for me to vote for, like, Sarah or Leo would be if they're kind of, like, too mean or too aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
There's the touchy subject thing coming up and some shit goes down in there potentially. So, like, I don't like when people are too mean in a college Survivor kind of thing. If you're like my boy Tony in that one with the bronze, the brains, and the beauties.
Yeah.
He can be mean sometimes. Like, yeah. If it's actual Survivor, you can fuck with people because, like, you're never,
you're trying to get $1 million.
Yeah, and you're winning $1 million. If you're winning, an Xfinity gift card or something, like, calm down a little bit. So,
I think I meant to ask this a while ago. What's Xfinity? Like, what is it?
It's an internet provider. Not that.
What?
All this time, I never asked, what is it?
Oh my god, I know.
Lee.
To be fair, Lee is in Ireland, and I don't know that Xfinity has crossed the ocean, but very funny.
I don't think so. I keep thinking it's some sort of what's it called, a VPN.
Okay.
Not a VPN.
Because I thought I saw that somewhere.
Lee, I take it you're not in tech.
I barely know how to turn on a computer.
Oh god.
I'm gonna lose it.
Well, Anthony, thank you so much for joining us. It was really a treat. So much fun to watch you play this season, and I'm very excited that you and Zoe are the queen and king of Ponderosa. We're very excited that you guys get to kind of bring the festivities to the jury. That's going to be awesome to watch, especially now that it's in person. Awesome.
Thank you for having me on. I watch you guys every now and then, and Naomi and Lee, you guys are fantastic, like, hosts. You always make it fun. Shane, you kind of suck. You're I've had enough of you. You're making my life hell.
It's your fault. You signed up for it.
I did.
You have made my life hell from day one.
Have a wonderful rest of the episode.
Thank you, Anthony. We're going to talk about why you lost and why you're bad at. No, I'm just kidding. But thank you so much for
why you're terrible at this game.
What mistakes you made and how you could have changed the course of your entire life. That's what we're about to hit you with. Thank you so much, Anthony. Have a great rest of your day, man.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Wow, he was terrible.
Oh my god, I can't wait to have you on
Anthony.
whenever Jackson gets voted out of Survivor Mission. I can't wait to have you guys on that episode together.
Waiting for it. I want it to happen so badly.
Oh Lord. Well, let's talk about this episode, guys. Let's talk about it. So here's what I want to know from Shane. If the result is Anthony goes home, so technically this newfound alliance gets what they wanted. They kind of disband the Leo Olivia group, and they have the numbers advantage. However, as we know, Corey, Sarah, Olivia, idols. Leo, the only one without an idol. Do you think, Shane, that this was a good move? Are they in a better spot? This other alliance, the alliance of Dorothy, Audrey, May, Hallie.
No,
Eric.
A horrible decision. Too early, bad result, because the person that they didn't really need Anthony out. No offense, Anthony. He was kind of just a body there. Like, he was gonna vote however Olivia wanted. So I guess it's good that they knock her down a rung, but as they knock her down one rung, she gains two.
Yeah. She gets knocked down and then she gets back up again.
Yeah,
it's never going to bring her down.
She had one idol. She had one idol prior to this, and now she's got three on her side, right? So if they were really trying to weaken Olivia, Leo, and Anthony, they should have waited. The timing is everything in Survivor, and they just got antsy. And this would have been a great move, the next week, but it just was too soon.
Yeah, and I think also when you're looking at this group of Eric and Audrey are bonded, right? They're kind of friends. They got a little friendship. They got a little alliance going on. Then you have Dorothy, who we don't know a lot from the edit, but it seems like people really like Dorothy. But Dorothy is just a number in all of this. So I don't know where Dorothy fits in. And then you have Hallie and May, and that's kind of a tight pair as well. So I don't necessarily know that this is a great move for Dorothy. And I don't know that anybody would. I think that Dorothy can pick which pair she wants to go with, but I don't know that she beats either of the people in those pairs. Maybe she beats Audrey, but I doubt she would beat Eric. I'm wondering what Dorothy's going to do.
Well, you have to remember that people are pretty not happy about Eric as a person. So
Corey hasn't forgiven him for saying, "I wish I would have voted you."
I think the biggest thing that Dorothy fucked up on was obviously Sarah. Sarah was right in the sense that why is she gonna go with a group where she's the loudest one there? It's so obvious that she was on the bottom. So it was in Dorothy's best interest to make sure that Sarah was in that, because the whole reason that Sarah got booted from that was because Audrey didn't want to work with her. And it's why is Dorothy letting Audrey bring Eric in? Dorothy didn't want to work with Eric, but she let Audrey kind of make that decision. Dorothy should have been no, it's Sarah. I feel good about Sarah. And they could have voted out Eric and then made the move. Yeah. That was the mistake. But by not talking to Sarah, she made Sarah feel like she was on the bottom, which she was. So yeah.
Well, so I want to talk more about this, the Audrey Sarah of it all, because Audrey has that really funny confessional where she's like, Sarah won't talk to me, and she's so cute and sad, right? That's what I'm not crazy. Am I frozen? No, I'm terrified that I'm frozen. Okay.
Not frozen. Yes, you are crazy.
I spoke Spanish. What am I crazy? What confessional am I thinking about?
No, you're thinking about
no, you are.
in the discussion when Audrey's Sarah, you didn't talk to me.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, thank you. I feel like Sarah really kind of whiffs it with Audrey because she's banking on the relationships that she has with Leo and Olivia to an extent. And I really think this was maybe the one kind of mistake that Sarah could have rectified earlier in the game. I don't know why she didn't talk to Audrey more to maybe make this change.
Because Audrey wasn't a crucial player in her mind. And to be honest, like, Audrey's like, you didn't talk to me. Like, you can't talk to everybody. Like, Sarah didn't see a relationship with Audrey like useful. And so she was like, I'm just not going to bother. Like, she's working with Eric and that's not beneficial to me. So, like, I guess Sarah just was like, nope, not really interested. And like, you don't have to be interested with working with every single person. So I find that really funny because like, it's not like Audrey's talking. It's like it's a two-way street, right? Like in Survivor, like it's not like Audrey's reaching out to everybody. It's not like Audrey reached out to Sarah. So like, it just was funny to hear that. Like that was the reason that like she was not included in the alliance. That made me laugh.
Yeah. I guess I think for me, like the sign of like a great college Survivor player is the person who talks to a lot of people and kind of identifies like, I need to be talking to this person because then the target won't be on me necessarily. And actually, it sounds like that's what Anthony was doing a lot, right? Anthony was talking to a lot of different people and people weren't necessarily going to vote for Anthony.
No, that's not true. They were going to vote for him.
They were going to vote for him last week if he didn't have immunity.
Yeah, they were going to.
Okay. Yeah. Someone else talk. Go ahead. Take
Anthony
it away.
was never making it past the next week. Like, he was screwed. Like, everybody wanted him out because he was good at challenges.
Interesting.
So, like, they didn't vote for him this time because they felt like they could get more behind with, like, get people behind a Leo vote because, like, Sarah had already voted for Leo. But, like, Anthony was the next to go.
Mm-hmm. And okay, then let's say it in the perspective of Olivia, right? Olivia has a lot of these relationships. She's talked to a lot of people. And even though she is a big threat, I think that she's gotten a lot of people to sort of like her enough to not necessarily want to vote her out over somebody like Leo, who's maybe a bit more abrasive, or Anthony, who has such a challenge threat on his back. And Olivia is at the bottom of like the I want to vote them out sort of rung of the ladder. I don't know. I'm not good with words. Lee, who do you think is next to go in this? We're now in this weird situation. Who do you think is going to go next?
It's very hard because you have a lot of variables. It could be Dorothy because when Leo and Olivia and all of them were like blaming the other side, they were mostly blaming her. Like they'd always be like, they're like, Dorothy, they wanted to vote you off, but Leo protected you. Like, they weren't really yelling at Hallie that much. I don't think they yelled at Audrey that much. And they obviously didn't care that much about May and Eric. Why do we keep forgetting him?
I don't know. I'm sorry, Eric. I know normally you're on the mind, but for some reason. Yeah.
They could do Eric because, as Shane said, he's not in the positive mental in the others. Leo because threat, apparently. It could literally be anyone except maybe Olivia because I don't think people want to vote her off.
Here's my theory. I think next week they're going to play the idol correctly, and I think they're going to vote for Hallie. That's my theory. That's what I think is going to happen. I think that they're probably Leo's always been a little fed up with Hallie, right? Like I think that they're like, you know what? Screw it. Let's take out this person who's close with May. I don't think May's going to go because she's still close with Sarah. I don't think they're going to vote for Audrey. I think, Eric might luck out with an immunity win or just, we can get Eric out at any time. Everybody wants to vote out Eric. But I think that Hallie is somebody who his alliance with May is so close and so dangerous that you need to get them out as soon as possible. That's my theory. Shane, don't give me any indication. But if I'm right, you do owe me $5.
Yeah. Don't show it in the clips.
So Shane, Anthony kind of mentioned it. Touchy Subjects is next week, right?
And it's like it was like 10 minutes after Rocks.
Uh-oh.
Oh God! So you definitely know people had strong feelings.
Yes.
Like it could be like who's the biggest liar, and Leo and Olivia and all them write down Dorothy just for that one thing.
No, the problem with this one was like I don't know why we did it this way. I had conversations with people after this, but like it was like if you get it right, you like took a live.
I hate when it's like that.
I know, so bad. So like it's just annoying. But anyway, yeah, it was just bad all around. Like nobody felt good after that challenge. So like when we did it in season 2, like we had to like make it a little more like harder.
Make playful, like who's the most likely to get married next? Who's most likely to fall on their own feet?
The real kicker was somebody getting that they needed to go to therapy. That was bad.
Oh, I can't wait for next week, Shane.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to guess who did. I'm trying to think who would they vote for that. Like the only person that pops into my mind is Olivia, maybe.
No, I think it's gonna be Leo. But also, could we talk about this?
No, he seems like somebody that won't be upset. Like, it's like, yeah, he'd probably be like, yeah, I could use therapy. It's somebody who, I bet it's probably Audrey.
Yeah, I mean, imagine being like 18 and being told go to therapy by a bunch of 20 like somethings. You'd be like, what's going on? And why did I sign up for this? This is bullying. Look, what I wanted to talk about that we haven't talked about yet is the cutaway to Olivia like saying that Leo was hot, and I was just like, what's going on in this episode? Are we getting a showman finally? What the fuck is going
Hashtag Olivia was back.
Live Leo.
Hey,
Yeah.
Like, so when I was editing this late Monday night and Tuesday morning, yes, I forgot about that. I saw that clip and I was like, oh, it's got to go in. Like, it just has to. Like, it's just, especially because for whatever reason, I didn't have a lot of, like, Olivia was in so many of the conversations, but I guess in all of the, like, the craziness, she didn't, like, film about it. Like, I guess she just forgot to film. And so I was like, okay, here's a prime Olivia, like, clip. Shove it in where something about, like, how Leo's being, like, cocky or something, and then just, like, put it right there.
Yeah, he's getting way too cocky for no reason.
He's definitely getting cocky, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go off slightly just because of something he said, where he said, like, I want to play like Boston Rob. Like,
yeah,
so.
Okay, take it away.
Yeah. Like, that shows that you're not good at this game. That shows, like, oh, I'm just going to stay with this alliance that I luckily have the numbers with on this tribe that I randomly got put together at the beginning. So I'm not going to bother with the others. I'm going to stick with the way it is. It shows that you don't have any gameplay.
I mean, a good Survivor player has flexibility, and
yeah, it shows that he's not adaptable. Yeah. And
clearly went with it once he realized that his name is on the line.
Yeah,
but like
only because he had to.
But it's so ironic that Sarah is the one who saved his ass when she was almost the reason that he left, like 2 episodes ago.
Oh yeah. Well, so I do think that to an extent, like, yes, Leo is being very sort of in control and commanding, but he does eventually come around to working with Sarah again. And I think that is a good move, right? It's to say, you know what, this person did try to vote me out, but clearly her interests have shifted and she does want to work with me. And I think that a worse player would not work with Sarah at all.
Mm-mm.
Really?
I know, I totally agree. No,
I totally... I'm like
no, I'm
just gonna log off. You guys
I think that the only reason that ended up happening was because, like, his name was on the line. Like, I think if it had been anybody else, I think it would have been the case.
Right. Yeah, and that's again like a sign of like why I think that actually targeting Leo isn't the best option. I think Leo is a huge threat who's out in front all the time, and like if you had targeted like an Anthony more actively or targeted like an Olivia, you know, Olivia is the idol, but Leo is very vengeful when he hears his name out there. And I don't know, I feel like Anthony wouldn't have the same traction that Leo has to just run the course of like, okay, I'm going to get everybody to not vote for me, or I'm going to rally this sort of intense like personality. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like Leo is like on a vengeance trail when he hears that his name is out there. And that's almost like it's the wrong person to pick in some ways. Lee, please say something smarter than what I'm saying.
Yeah, if they did go for Anthony and it was a tie, people would have been more likely to flip, like, instead of originally vote with me, because the reason why they voted with me, Sarah said, was, oh, since it's a tie, May would be safe and I want to work with May. So if they were like, consider if it was a tie, if we all vote Anthony, then there's a chance, and it stays a tie, then there's a chance Leo or Olivia goes with the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not, and somebody flips and they get rid of somebody that's not with them.
I think that May will be very hurt after this.
Yeah.
She's not going to understand why Sarah did it.
Yeah.
But at the same point, May has been lying to Sarah since day one. So, like, Sarah's like, who cares?
Yeah, I think that Sarah is in a tricky spot, and like this is what I was thinking the whole time is like, Sarah has a really tough job ahead of her should she reach Final Tribal Council, because she has been going so hard this whole game, and to an extent, I think that there's a danger for Sarah where like people are going to see her as too cutthroat, too backstabby, just making all these moves out of nowhere. And if she can't fully articulate it, and if people don't fully know the game, she could look just like a total lunatic, as opposed to somebody who is making a lot of really smart moves to get herself ahead. And that's my worry for Sarah, is like, if she reaches Final Tribal Council, will people even be receptive to the idea of what she's doing?
I mean, like, there's no denying that, like, she has an underdog story right now, like, of being on the complete bottom, almost the first one out, to like literally masterminding this entire move. Like, that was pure genius. The entire thing was crazy, but it was genius. Like, I was sitting on this call at like 1 a.m. as she's pitching it to Corey, and I was like, they are not going to do this. Like, they are not going to do this. And then they fucking did it. Like, I was because they literally hadn't even talked about voting Leo off at that point. Like, Dorothy and them, they literally hadn't even discussed it until Sarah started shaking it up. And then I was like, oh my God, like, she literally just moved the game forward like an entire week.
Well, so here's my question. Let's talk a little bit about Sarah and Corey. I guess I never expected that these two would be the pair that splits off and says, we're jumping ship from this side and we're going to this side. And why do Sarah and Corey trust each other so much? And is this like gonna last as long as I think it will, or is it a little more just like temporarily everybody's interests are aligned?
I don't think that Sarah trusts Corey, and I don't think that Corey trusts Sarah for the long term. Mm-hmm. But however, Sarah comes to Corey with this information of like, hey, May, she knows that he's been in an alliance with May since day one. She's like, May is flipping and not loyal to you anymore, so like your days are numbered. Corey hears that and he's like, well, fuck. And Sarah knows that she's been on the bottom of that since day one. And she knows that Corey is more likely to work with Leo than any of the other people because they are in the same fraternity. So she's just using that connection to get Corey to pull on the other side. And she has like ties to Olivia, which he sort of knows because he also has ties to Olivia. So like they are the two that like are the like. It's funny because all of these people are like super good friends of mine that I like recruited to play the season. And they're like now all coming together. Like I never thought they would all play together, but like in the same like alliance. But now they're like all working together. They're just very similar minded people, and I think it just kind of worked out that way.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. Like I was really happy that Corey wasn't just gonna be in like a shitty spot, losing Zoe, having an idol where he might play it, the week he gets immunity, but like in my head, I was kind of thinking like he's just going to be one of those Survivor characters where he plays the idol the next round because he's going to go home and then he has no power and has nothing to control. And I'm glad that Corey has managed to suit himself in a spot where he actually does have a little bit of power and can make some moves that aren't just, hey, I'm going to play the idol and hope that everybody forgets about me the next week. So good for Corey. I think Corey made a lot of great moves in this episode, and like good for him for recognizing like, let me join this power structure where very clearly you can't go to the end with Leo and Olivia. So we're gonna get them out at some point. I feel like that's always my big thing in these games. I don't know if you feel the same way, Lee, is like you take strong people further and then you vote them out later so that you're never going to be the one that goes home.
Well, I think also, I mean, I don't know if Sarah has that same like feeling towards Olivia. I think she just really likes her, which could be like a downfall. However, I don't really think that there's like a whole like top and bottom to this alliance. Like they are all like similar threat level. They all have threats on them for different reasons. So like, I think that's a good like alliance to keep around, because like it could be any one of them. Like it's not going to just be one of them instantly.
Yeah, it's definitely like perceived threats versus people who people thought were not threats. Because you look at the other, except for Eric, well, do people see Eric as a threat other than in challenges?
I think people see Audrey as like a messy threat.
Interesting.
Messy threat. Never thought I heard that.
But not because I don't think they think she's playing well. I think they think she's playing messy, which she is playing messy.
They're all playing messy. Did they not just go through that last tribal?
Yeah, I feel like it's me to a T. I feel like the other side, I do think a lot of them could make a case if they're able to get out the other side, because I do think that, like, you know, I don't know about Leo, but I feel like Anthony and Olivia and Corey, even to an extent, will like will respect the people who get them out. I don't know if Leo necessarily will, but I do think that those other people will have some respect for, like, if, you know, Audrey manages to vote them all out because she recognized they were all threats. Again, it all boils down to like who can articulate this point at tribal council in a way that like is convincing. But I could see them getting away with it. But you have to get all of them out, and that's the tough part, I think, especially considering that there are 3 idols.
Yes, I definitely do like respect more like Audrey, Dorothy, and Hallie, since they did recognize and actually do something about their view in the game, and not just be like, okay, we'll just stay old and strong. We know we're on the bottom, but we're going to stick with it for now, and actually do something, because like it just makes me respect them more. Like they actually did something, and not constant talk like, oh, we're just going to do that next week. We're just going to do that next week. Like constant next week talk, because you never know who has connections with who, and when next week comes, people are like, no, I'm going to keep this person around for a shield, and then they stay around for too long.
I think it was so funny how Anthony was like, well, that's bullshit. Like, there was no top from the bottom. I was like, of course you see that way. Like,
yeah.
It was so obvious that, like, Olivia, Leo, and Anthony were, like, here.
Top.
The others were, like, down there. Like, it was just so clear. Like, he said, like, oh, maybe I'll flip on them. But will he?
You wouldn't have. Love you, Anthony, but you wouldn't have flipped on them.
We'll
So,
see.
like,
Yeah.
Well, we won't see because he's gone.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But we'll see what else happens on Scotty Survivor. Well, Shane, tell me, besides touchy subjects where everybody hurts each other's feelings, what else do we have to look forward to in the next episode?
People hearing their names for the first time.
Ooh. I love to hear that.
And more than one person hearing their name for the first time. So
I'm trying to think who hasn't received a vote yet. That's so Olivia.
Oh, I mean, I guess, well, not people that just haven't received votes, but like whose names haven't been consistently in the bunch. Like I feel like we've heard the same names over and over again.
Leo, Sarah, Eric.
Yeah, that sounds to me like a Dorothy and a Hallie for sure. Like Hallie's been in the conversation, but I don't think Hallie has ever really felt the feet to the flames in a sense, and I don't think Dorothy either has felt that.
Sarah showed her awareness so well in that, being like, Hallie is the glue. Like she really said it, and that's why they didn't vote for Hallie. Like her game awareness in this episode was like really quite strong. Like compared and like Olivia too. Like you see in that conversation being like, dude, you have to flip. Like they're just. It's starting to put together like the sides, like Corey said, the lines are far drawn in the sand at this point. So like, will somebody flip? Will somebody not flip? Will like
looking at that tribal, did you think anyone would flip looking at the tribal and being there?
I thought it was possible. I thought we could see a flip from like both Olivia and Anthony went into the room and they were like, maybe we should just flip. And then the other side, because, like, I think Olivia knows, like, she's not going to go to the end with Leo. Like,
I think everyone knows that.
Yeah. And then I think on the other side, Hallie in his in his voting confessional in the second one said, "Fuck you, Sarah," as loud as he could. And then so we knew.
Well, they're definitely not working together.
I mean, she outplayed him. Like, what is he gonna say about it? Like, she got him. Like, they tried to make a move and it failed. Like, it did. But at least they tried.
Yeah, like at least they actually did something.
Like, this was the most interesting outcome that could have happened. Like, like literally most interesting because, like we've all said, like there is technically a majority, but like let's not forget that like there are certain ties to other people on the side, like May and Corey, May and Sarah, Audrey and Olivia. Yeah. There are ties here. So
I don't know if that May and Corey thing will last, considering Corey did vote for May.
Well, yeah, and May and Sarah, but Sarah can always be like, I saved. Well, May basically, there was this whole other thing where like May was like, do not play your idol. Absolutely do not play your idol. Do not waste it. Like there was so much more that like we couldn't show just because like, well, one, I was editing on like very short amount of time.
Yeah.
And two, so I'm amazed that like it came together as well as it did. And then two, there just was so much footage from this week that like I had to like dumb it down like to the most like concise way that I could, you know what I mean? Like there was too much happening to like show all the little ins and outs of like people's conversations. Like Anthony saying like he like confronted Dorothy. I don't remember that. Like I remember watching the videos and them like having a conversation of like what's going on and Dorothy being like, no, we're still staying Ogun strong, but I don't think that he confronted her. Like I think the only reason that Leo flipped at the very end was like, and it wasn't recorded, so like of course I didn't even get to show this, was like 10 minutes before Tribal, he, Anthony, and Olivia hopped on a call with Dorothy and she kept looking down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only reason that he went through with Sarah and Corey's plan.
Who was he originally going to vote for? Eric?
I think it was May. So it would have tied anyway. But like that's the only reason he was like, okay, like it's tying. So like he was just so stubborn and did not believe that like I said, we were literally like at my house and we were working out and like they started like bickering and Corey like literally like left the room because he was like, I cannot deal with Leo right now. Like he was like, Leo is so stubborn.
Oh my God. Well, and that's why I think like Leo, we talked about it last week. I don't think that Leo has win equity that somebody like Olivia has, but that's good for Olivia, right? To have someone as big of a target in front of you as Leo. Like we'll see. Shane, the episode is Tuesday at 8, right? Got the graphic to show it. New episode Tuesday at 8. You gotta subscribe to Scotty Survivor on YouTube. You have to join us every week when we talk about the episodes, usually Sundays at 3. And I cannot wait to see what happens this next episode. It's gonna be messy. There's 3 idols still in play. And they're all with the Minority Alliance. You're going to want to watch. It's gonna be fucking messy.
People cry in this episode.
Let's just say 8, 9, 8, 7, 6, all messy votes.
I'm still waiting for that 2 1 1 1 1 1 1 vote.
Lee, you know, ready to update your like chart of like really weird votes because we've got them coming.
Yeah. Anthony, you now joined the group of people that were voted off 5-5, and also the group of people that were rock drawed.
Wow. Yeah, a good point of like rock draws are really screwing people over with the name A in College Survivor lately.
I'll just say I'm not gonna say anything about rock draws or anything, but I'll just give a little like sneak peek. Ties are extremely prevalent in this season.
Thank God we don't have like Game Changers rules.
I actually would rather Game Changers. It was like I want to see like them immediately be like, okay, you tied your first tribal. All right, let's go straight to rocks. You shouldn't have tied.
Yeah, fuck that. But yeah, ties this season, a lot of them. So get ready.
We've only had 2 so far, right? This one and the Michael one.
Played.
I'm trying to have a peaceful summer, Shane. How dare you?
You think that this is messy? Wait till
season 2.
Wait till season 2.
Season 2. Awesome. Well, Shane, thank you to Anthony for joining us. I cannot wait for the next episode. Again, Tuesdays at 8. Subscribe to Scotty Survivor on YouTube. Check them out on Instagram, and join our viewer group where we talk about Scotty Survivor. Join the Discord where we talk about Scotty Survivor. We are all there all the time. We are way too logged on. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
We have no lives.
Yeah, we have no lives. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you in the comments on Tuesday. Bye-bye.